Hey, so I've woken up and I had a cup of cold coffee, refrigerated. It was really good with a bowl of oatmeal. I'm gonna do an albuterol and a saline right now. And right now, excuse me. I'm sort of coming to terms with the fact that I require a lot more sleep than other people do. I got to sleep at no later than 12:30. It wasn't 1 o'clock. I woke up at 2 o'clock. So that's a little over 12 hours of sleep, which means that's a lot of my day that's gone, waking up at 2 o'clock after lunch. Doesn't make me happy to learn that, because that's when I wake up without an alarm. That's when I wake up when I get to bed at about 12:30. Which means it limits a lot of what I can do with my time. There's a lot of stuff I can't do in my day if I need that much sleep. So you can tell I'm having trouble breathing because I haven't done much treatment yet. I should get that done. After doing my albuterol and saline, I have a PB&J, which has strawberry preserves, frozen blueberries and cinnamon, and a glass of water. This is a bowl with lots of protein, because it has a can of beans, which has 21 grams of protein, and a can of tuna, which has 22 grams. So that's 43 grams of protein. That's phenomenal. That's awesome. I really like that. So I'm going to make sure to have plenty of enzymes with that. Otherwise, it wouldn't do me any good. I'm going to have 6 enzymes. So many I have. Then, a glass of water. They go together perfectly. So right now, I got a plate of potatoes and some hot sauce and some water. I've spent all day being tired. Energy level never gets up. I don't really feel like doing things. So I spend all day sitting at my computer, watching videos, looking at images, doodling a bit. There's a number of things that I thought I would have started doing by now. I know how to do PowerPoint presentations. With video editing, you put those two together, you get some fun things. I took up a painting class that I enjoyed. And I've done a few things with some spray paint. That was a one-time thing at the end of last year. I have a guitar over there I've been learning. I play sometimes during the day. Thought I'd be recording some of it, I'm not. And I can't think of any incentive to do these things anymore. I think the term you would describe as morale. Not morals, but morale. And if it's an appropriate term, I think not immoral, like it's a bad thing to do, but I think the term demoralized describes the sort of state of mind I've had for a while. So I'm trying to think back to like the first episode of this I started a year and 2 days ago. All I did was walk down the yard, say there's things I wanted to do. New Year's resolution, good idea. Hey, start a business or start looking into business planning and animations, write a book. That was it. And I wanted to get started doing things because I was starting to feel that onset of being demoralized, but it just kind of set in. And it took hold because I was, and this is how I'm rationalizing it, I want to make sure I'm not blaming things. but you can make sense of it at least. Excuse me. At the time, my older brother, David, was dying, and he died in the middle of last year of the same illness that I have. And around the same time, it seems like McKenna's health, who had, for the longest time, throughout our entire lifetimes, has had better health than mine. Seems like hers was starting to go down. I need some water. Hold on. Sorry about this. So, then in the middle of last year, we decided to move to where it would be healthier. Good idea. We went from the agricultural Dust Bowl of Modesto, which had the worst air quality and smog control in the country, to Fortuna. We lived for a bit in a trailer in a friend's yard, and we're living in a house that we're renting. And there's sort of a problem there, in that we own a home in Modesto, and we're renting a home in Fortuna. We own a house that we want to sell, and we're renting a house that we want to buy. When one goes through, the other happens. It's not happening. And we were stuck for a long time in one financial position, and when we got out of it, nothing really improved. So, finances, a bit in the dump. It's really no one's fault. There's no one who could have really fixed this. It's just the natural process of moving in this sort of housing market, especially when you consider that, technically speaking, the Modesto housing market is vastly different from the Fortuna housing market. It's just something that happens. So, it's just difficult for me to start doing something. And a lot of the times it's difficult for me to stop, to reach the end of that. I don't do very much writing at all. That's my fault. I just don't feel motivated. I don't feel driven in the least bit to get anything done. So, I don't have any answers for these things right now. But I at least have the perspective, excuse me, of a year to reflect on. It's just, I at least have a reference point. Here's me in the span of a year. These seem, such and such has changed, other things have not. So that's something for me to try and work on.